Hey you guys, it's Knotty. Today I'm going to show you guys how I made this crochet flare sleeve top. It's really easy and it only involves double crochets. I used a pound of love in the color Elephant Gray, and then I used Hobie brand Diablo, which is an acrylic mohair blend, and an 8mm hook. We're going to start by chaining an even number that fits comfortably around your shoulders. I've noticed that myself, from being a medium to an extra large, that a chain 80 works good. Since I'm chaining 80, when I get to the halfway point, I'm going to place a stitch marker. And then when I get to the 80th stitch, I'm also going to place a stitch marker because those are going to mark where my shoulders are. I'm finally taking back what's mine. They won't believe it. You'll never see it when I get you in the night. Once you reach your desired length, we're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch and make sure that the chain is straight. We're going to chain 2 and go ahead and start with our double crochets. For this first row, we're just going to double crochet all the way in the round without any increases. We're going to end our row with a slip stitch and chain 2. And make sure to place back your stitch marker. Our stitch markers indicate where we're going to do our increases. And we're going to do 4 rows of increases. When we get to our stitch marker, we're just going to take that out, and then we're going to place 2 double crochets into the stitch marker space. And then you're going to put the stitch marker into the second double crochet that you made. We're basically just going to do that same thing at the end where the second stitch marker is. And then we're going to slip stitch to finish the round and chain 2 to start the next round. We're going to increase rounds 2 through 5, and I'll show you how to add the mohair in on round 4 if you're going to add mohair. Wave maker, I came up out the Pacific. So you don't trust what you can't see. Some things are left to believe in. I just wanna know you believe me. You feel nothing good in life would be this. When you're about to add the mohair, you go ahead and start your last double crochet. Whenever you're about to do your wraparound and pull through the last 2 loops, you're gonna go ahead and wrap a piece of mohair on, and then pull through the last 2 loops and slip stitch. And then whenever you start your next row, including the 2 chains to start the row, it'll have mohair on it. I take it from the streets and bring it to the beach. And it don't gotta end, just put it on repeat. No, you don't trust what you can't see. Some things are left to believe in. I just wanna know you believe me. You feel nothing good in life would be this easy. You don't trust what you can't see, but some things are too good to believe in. I just wanna know you believe me, yeah. How could I lie to you? Don't fake this, I promise we can make it. You trust me, for sure you'll be alright. I know we have patience, don't fake this, I promise we can make it. You trust me, for sure you'll be alright. I know.
To complete this 4th row, we're going to slip stitch, and then we're going to cut the mohair yarn. And then we're going to continue to crochet as we would, but make sure that the piece of mohair is tucked so that way it doesn't unravel. And then we're going to continue on with our 5th and last row of increases.
You got some time I'm trying to slide through. You might have thought that you could find two, but no one provide the vibe that I do. And shawty, I like how you move, and you can. But not on that that's you said. You like how I do this. You said it's a vibe, it's a mood. You probably never in your life thought that you would hear somebody talk the way that I talk, or see somebody that could walk the way that I want. I feel the same about you. I like it when you do what you do, and I don't really need a reason to turn it up and take over the whole season. Putting up numbers no matter who playing defense. And when I say it, no, I mean.
Once we're finished our 5 rows, we're going to go ahead and fasten off, and this is about how it should fit. Right now, I'm pointing out about where I want my arms to be. The blue stitch marker represents where my shoulder is, and then the yellow stitch marker represents about where I want my arm to stop. So the blue stitch marker is where my stitch is, and then there's 11 stitches between the blue and the yellow stitch marker on both sides. And then the same thing on my left side. To start the sleeves, we're going to slip stitch both sides together, the sides that you have pinned together for the arms. Once we have that slip stitch, we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to place our first double crochet into one of the stitches that our stitch marker is in, so that way there won't be any gaps.
Shoot for the moon, yeah, I'm trying to see all the stars close like Solana. Don't be praying on my downfall, I go harder. Although my beats go dumb, I move smarter. I'm just trying to take flight and ball like Vince Carter. But you should know that I'm only just getting started. We have emotion, they thinking that it was stop.
In total, I had 25 stitch spaces for my sleeve, so I'm going to make sure I put my 25th stitch into the space next to the stitch marker, or into the space that the stitch marker is in. And then we're going to slip stitch, and then we're basically just going to keep repeating this for 16 rows, and you can add mohair in whenever you feel like you want to add mohair in. I basically did like a 4-6 4-6 type of pattern, except for whenever I got to the flare sleeves, I did a 4-6 4-7, I think.
You said you like how I do this. You said it's alright, it's a mood, yeah.
Knew it from the jump, you were bad news. Eating on my time, leave my mind in the woods. But now you see the face under the red hood. And you cried, now you cry, yeah you cry, yeah you cry, whoa. Oh, you thought I was a little sheep, yeah, yeah. Never noticed how I hit my teeth. Now there ain't nobody that'll hear you. If you cry, if you cry, if you cry, if you cry, whoa. Once upon a time.
Once we get to row 17, we're going to start increasing, and we're going to do a 1-2 increase. So into the first stitch, we'll place 1 double crochet, and the next stitch, we'll place 2 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochet, and just complete the pattern all the way around. And we're going to do that for rows 17, 18, and 19. And don't worry, in the description, I'll have written out, which rows you have to do which increases on, so that way it doesn't get confusing.
Knew it from the jump, you were bad news. Eating on my time, leave my mind in the woods, but now you see the face under.
Once you get to row 20, I'm adding mohair, and I'm also going to be doing an increase of 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2.
Now there ain't nobody that'll hear you. If you cry, if you cry, if you cry, if you cry, whoa. Like that talk, blah, 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 blah. When you give me that toxic, I go off, you can call me selfish. Hella hellish, what you really meant to say is I'm a bad bitch. She's gonna girl, whatever girl if you hate me, hate me, hate me.
Once we get to row 21, we're going to be doing an increase of 1, 1, 1, 2. And at this point, the space where you're doing your increases should be lining up. So when I put 2 double crochets, there should be 2 double crochets directly below it. Row 22 is our last row of increases. We're going to be doing an increase of 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. I hope that's not confusing. I'll have it written in the description. And then after we finish this row, we're just going to be doing double crochets all the way around with no increases for 7 additional rows.
No need try, we just go with the motions. Close your eyes, ease your mind for a moment. Need no smoke that make you feel you floating. You know joke or you pressure, you know it. You know it, you know it. I don't fall under pressure, I be handling business. Get it finished, no extras, don't get into specifics. Wave maker, I came up out the Pacific. So you don't trust what you can't see. Some things are left to believe in. I just wanna know you believe me. You feel nothing good in life would be this easy. You don't trust what you can't see, but some things are too good to believe.
This is what we're looking like at our halfway point. This one looks so fresh compared to the one that I already have. The one that I already have kind of looks like I wet blocked it or something because I worn it quite a few times. I really like the effect of wet blocking crochet stuff because it looks a little bit more flowy. So you could definitely do that to get more of a like whimsical look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.
I just wanna know you believe me. You feel nothing good in life would be this easy. You don't trust what you can't see, but some things are too good to believe in. I just wanna know you believe me, yeah. How could I lie to you?